to give me. How do I get
We are live now. I have made you a host.
Okay,
Thank you.
make you the co-host. Hello, Jackie. Welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Wow, they get me down here yet, huh?
It's what, sorry?
I said, so nobody's here yet, hardly.
Yeah, I know they are scheduled another 10 or so to come. So
Okay.
we'll see whether they arrive or not. And
I took a class earlier today. It came out just like this. It was just you, the person to lead me, and the instructor and the guide when I signed on, but it ended up being 5 people total.
yeah, okay. What class was that?
The one about, hold on, I wrote it down. Let me see. Kevin was an instructor about starting a business or how to run a business or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
I write it down there.
Yeah. Jackie, we've got
Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. Oh, that's somebody to come.
Yeah, it's Amir.
Amir.
Amir, meet Jackie. Okay.
Yeah. Amir, how you doing?
Fine, Taran. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Yes, today we have a new crowd.
We do have some new people. You're right, Amir, from
Yes.
yesterday. Yeah, and Shan. Hello, Shan. Okay. Shan, Magenda, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, welcome to class. And we've got Terry. Yay.
Hey, Michael.
Hello. Hey, how are you?
Doing good.
That's great. That's great. Pleased about it.
Yes. Good
Yeah.
to see you, Terry. Yeah, I think
Oh, there you are.
we didn't see you a few
I
days.
wondered how your last 2 classes went. It was going to be no fun without you, Amir.
I was very happy to attend those 2 classes, but we missed you.
Yes. Amir, I have to tell you something before we get started. It's not related to this class, Michael, but we were talking about the microfinance and all of that. There's a class on that tomorrow night at 5. That's 5 o'clock Pacific time. It's a special speaker.
Oh yeah, tomorrow night. So what time would it be?
I think you're 3 hours ahead. So it would be 8 o'clock your time.
8 o'clock here.
Yeah, if you look it
I
up
think
on
so. What time is it now?
It's now for us 10 o'clock.
Okay, yes, it's 7 here. So you're 3 hours ahead.
Right, yeah.
3 hours later. Oh,
Yes, maybe James can find which class it is. It's a special speaker.
yeah, microfinancing, yeah.
Yeah, the CEO came on and did the invitation.
Oh, that is good for me to know.
Yes, it is.
Some kind of knowledge or tips I will definitely.
It's actually good for
learn.
everybody. Good for everybody.
Yes, I couldn't believe that it came, and here we just been talking about it and everything.
Right.
Yes. And to update you on that QSO and what is the name, Finca, I had mentioned before in the class that Finca is more The Canadian one is more for Haiti and the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Canadian FINCA. The US FINCA, which is international, is for all over the world. So,
I see.
yeah, and CUSO, CUSO International, I was not able to get the hold of them by phones. I left the messages, but no answer yet. But it is more to be, yeah, somebody had talked with me a little bit, yes, that it is more that they join the other organizations in whichever different countries, and they help those small organizations. So I'll keep it short here. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, that's great. No, well, thanks for sharing. And let's check, Jackie. What actually brings you to the class? What interests you about this class? Okay.
Well, the title asks you how to find and implement a new idea, and I'm trying to learn how to do new things. So that's it.
Okay.
I'm curious to do something different.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's actually been a series. What you must also do, Jackie, is next week, probably Sunday evening in your time, about the same time as now. We do a class 1, if you like.
Okay.
And we move through the steps on how to generate ideas. You can ask Amira and Terry; they were there and previously, and that also. But this is really absolutely good class to be in. So there's no harm, but we're not going to be generating ideas in this class. It's a deceptive title that gets put up. The name of the series, yeah. Ernest, don't get up. How are you? Welcome.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Okay. So why number 2, Ernest?
Excuse me?
Why are you number 2?
I don't know.
It's on your sleeve, on your T-shirt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You have to be number 1.
Michigan.
All right. I think let me just introduce you to James, our TA. As you know, we have TAs in the classes that help with any sort of issues that might occur. And you're welcome to ask him questions as well through the chat page. And you can do it directly, privately, or you can do it for everybody. But James, welcome to the class.
Before you go further, I wanted to ask Jackie, did you use another name, or am I mixing up with another person, Trina? No.
Talking to Jackie, you said me, Jackie? This is my first time with you guys.
This is your first time, okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was somebody like you last time around, so I
might have a twin somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah. There was somebody looking like her, you're right.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I can look good as I do.
Yeah. So this is your first time, okay.
It's my first time in this class, yeah.
Okay,
I've been in class with Michael before, but my first time in this class.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you must hold the class in the future. You're so experienced now.
It looks to me, because this is my second time I'm attending.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of getting to know more. But anyway, let me give you the.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this class is about when you have an idea and you've taken a few steps forward and you've moved forward and possibly even got 6 months down the line with your idea and taking it forward, or you might have difficulty in actually getting started with an idea. So this class is really about, the momentum. How do we, some ideas, and we now look, as you know, that we're looking at some examples of people who've gone before, who are perhaps older than us, and who are still there, still having problems with momentum, but then they've got ideas on how to move with momentum. And as you know, I've researched these older folks that have really been working with their ideas and taken a lot of tips from them, because when somebody's been there, done that, it's really worth listening to them, because otherwise you get a bit theoretical, and then it becomes not necessarily authentic. And so what we try and do here is go through some tips and some ideas and some suggestions of how to keep the momentum going. Hopefully you never sort of stop with your momentum, and that this will help you just keep going. And so where you are in the pattern doesn't matter. Even if you don't have an idea, it doesn't matter, because you're going to be confronted, like most human beings, with a slowdown, okay, and even maybe a stop, and you need to gain momentum again and get started again. So that's what this class is about. And we agree from day one in our classes that the purpose of life is to have a purpose in life, okay? And that just changes everything. When you've got a purpose, it changes your whole life. You look forward to your new career, your new moving forward, you're happy, and you've got another 30 years ahead of you with this amazing purpose that is unique to you. So, but we need to maintain it. We need to feel it, we will get a bit down in the dumps. So just for the newcomers, the class one, we developed a sort of purpose and idea and steps on how to do that. And there's another one on Monday. And by the way, Amir and Terry, next week will be the last series of these. And particularly for Jackie and Ernest and Shan, if you want to get to those, next week is the last cycle, then get set up as withdrawing them for about 6 or 8 weeks.
Wow.
Okay, so be aware that your last chance to do the whole series would be next week. All right, so the first class is about the idea. The second class is about how do I get started? And we talked about this, a speech about our purpose, not in public, but to yourself, but pretending it's in public and bringing that down to a single sentence. And then we moved on to class 3, where we had tools. We looked at tools that we can use to help us to move forward and to communicate, and platforms and like business models of, it's not a business, but there are lots of different ways that we can move forward, and we dealt with that yesterday. And the idea was we're going to go out there either physically or online, virtually, and we're going to collect people around us that are interested in. Okay, all right. So let's start. I did Oak. Yeah, I know Jackie knows me, but I'm not sure about Ernest and Shan. My name is Michael Plumstead, and I'm from Perth, Western Australia. So we've just gone, we're about 10:15 a.m. in the morning now, and we're into winter with lots of rain. So that's where I live. I enjoy classes. I enjoy writing, researching, mentoring, gardening, microgreen gardening. Those are things that give me some sort of background of who I am. Okay, and yeah. So the agenda that you see on the screen now is. It won't mean too much. So that's what we're going to go through forward of the things that you see on your screen. you know, and the why, you will know that, that Terry and Amir will I always come back and hammer this aspect of why. You need to have a why to do something, okay? You can't just do it, and it has nothing to do with money, okay? This part of the process has nothing to do with money. Money may come into it depending on your purpose that you want to do. So your purpose might be something that you work at, but while you're finding your purpose and moving forward gradually with your purpose, then that's money doesn't come into it. You mustn't think about it. And so we're going to also create a tool that's going to be handy for us. I call it a schedule, really, because I can't find a better name, but you'll see why as we move forward, because this is all based largely on my own experience, and I read extensively as well with successful people, and I enjoy that, and I pick up all sorts of things from that as well. So we'll also bring in some practical tips, and the tips largely come from the people I'm going to show you as influencers, the older people who've been before us and are still there before us, and what they're saying. So the tips come largely from them, and they will be the success stories that I'm going to talk about. And so let's start with Professor Lynn Slater. You see a picture of her on the slide, and she has given a few tips that I think are very powerful, and they'll come out in the class, all right, as opposed to now, okay? And she started. She was a professor, as you can see, and she lectured students and things like that. And then she retired, and she started a fashion blog, okay, with no experience, and that was 5 years ago she started, and it was like a passion project, okay, that she had a thing about older people, you know, dressing like old people. Okay, and so she didn't want to go along with that as she became old, and so she wanted to sort of share her thoughts with people. So she chose social media, and she chose well, she chose a few, but yeah, there were quite a few. It wasn't only Instagram, and but she knew nothing about fashion. Okay, nothing about fashion. And she wasn't doing this for any money. She just had the passion. She wanted to find ways to dress that she didn't look like an old lady, I suppose. Those are my words, not hers. But yeah, so it was interesting because it took her 3 years of interacting, getting a following of people that were interested, and those people were making suggestions, and she was making suggestions. She was interacting, and before she knew it, after 3 years, she had 100,000 followers. Okay, so who just wanted to talk about her type of fashion, you know, for older people, and nothing more. That's what it was about. There was no money, there was no product. She wasn't selling anything. And as she went along, she learned how to handle social media. She learned some of the things, but she always stayed with her own authenticity. So important. Everybody listen. Be yourself. Don't try and pretend to be somebody else. She had a phrase, me being me approach. And that's one of the tips she shares, is that, you know, she didn't start out with any business plans, anything. She just started moving forward with this thought, with this purpose of wanting to find an outlet for her passion. And so, yeah, so off she started. And a lot of the things I'll be talking about today came from her. and the others I'm going to show you shortly. But I want to re-emphasize again, I said at the beginning, the purpose of life is a life with purpose. And that is just, it's a profound statement. For me, it's profound, okay? And I know Amir and Terry also mentioned it was. And it doesn't matter where you start, okay? It can be small steps, okay? In fact,
I think you must be having this posted in your room somewhere. Life with purpose.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely. You must have it up in your room somewhere. But I actually want to ask Terry. Terry, have you bought your dog yet? Can't hear you. Sorry, I can't hear you. You got your mic off. Okay.
I don't have my friend yet, but I've been looking, and I came into a problem because the fence in the backyard, there's a part that's down. So the organizations won't release an animal unless they're 100% sure they're going to be secure.
Okay.
So the owners have to fix the fence.
First, okay. But you're looking around at the moment.
Yes. So I've been talking to the rescue organizations.
Right. Oh, fantastic. That would be lovely to get a rescue dog. Yeah. So, yeah, okay. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I look forward to the day that you can get it. Eh? Wow. Okay. And that's important to Terry at this stage in her life. That's her first small step, is to get that friend, get that companion that she dearly desires. So, and then small steps at a time, very important. Okay. And so, yeah, coming back to the slide now, keep remembering your why. When you have a purpose, I mean, Terry's very clear, why the dog, and then she's got ideas about possibly the next step, okay? And Amir as well. Amir has done a lot since we started the classes, okay? And he's moving forward and learning new things, particularly with social media. And I don't know if you managed to get into Nextdoor, Amir, that you were trying to do, but
yes, I am advancing a bit, because the profile is, at some places it is, I am 2 steps into the profile properly. Then there are some other profiles, because every group I join, they need profiles and photos.
Your profiles I want from you, yes.
Yes, so I joined one group that is from Indian subcontinent.
Right.
That I am joining. There's another group in the same Nextdoor app. And then there is another one I joined. There's another one I joined. What was it? I did join 2.
Okay.
There is one for French language, yes.
Oh, one for French language. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
But
just so
you haven't joined one for music yet, for your harmonica.
I mentioned music is in the profile wherever I did, but I tried to ask the Get Setup for the music app if they have in the Get Setup. They told me that Apple, they have the music garage band thing.
Okay.
So I'll have to work on it.
You're doing a lot of research, so well done, well done. You're moving forward. You're enthusiastic. Okay. I mean, you're smiling more now than I've ever seen you smile. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I even tried to play the harmonica today with the music. Glenda has offering some kind of dance program today, but my harmonica didn't go well with the song I was playing. I asked her to play the song My Boy Lollipop, if you have
Oh,
heard it.
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But the song doesn't go with the harmonica. So my harmonica didn't work as well, but that's no big deal.
Well,
Another
we'll
time.
come on. If we've got time at the end of this class, we're going to call on you to play your harmonica to the group.
Yes, I'll play something. Yes, yes.
Play
Good.
Please Me by the Beatles. Come on, you go and look
Yes,
for that.
yeah, I'll do the Allow Me Do. I like that song.
Love Me Do, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we all grew up with the Beatles. So the most important aspect of this whole process is to know why you are going to do what you are doing or going to be doing. You've got to answer the question why. And then it must be authentic, it must be heartfelt. And when you answer yourself for the why, you must feel a warm feeling. So it's important, particularly now where we've oldies have finished our careers, and now we're starting this whole new career where you don't have to bring kids to the up and take them to school, and we live our own life now, and we've got 30 years to do it in. And so we now find the real purpose that warms our heart, and it should really have something to do with other people. Okay, so it should have something to do with benefiting other people or helping other people as part of that purpose. I mean, even if you're playing, not even, I don't mean that, but it's a musical instrument and you're entertaining other people and they're smiling and they're enjoying it. I mean, that could be a purpose, okay? So there are lots of ideas, but every idea must be unique to you. Okay, don't go Googling what people have got for purposes. No, 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 no. What's important is that you must have your own uniqueness in your purpose. Again, your subconscious will let you know, as you can see when we go back to class 1 on Monday or Sunday night. Very important to find the why to the purpose. But this class is more about the next phase, which is, what happens, when things are starting to cool down and you're not that enthusiastic and the momentum is starting to drag. The purpose, if your purpose was authentic and genuine and it excited you, okay, and take your time to do it, as is Terry moving through the process, take your time to get that purpose. You will know by the feeling, and it could be steps, a lot of small steps, get in there, but each step will give you a warm feeling between your throat and your belly button. It'll be that sort of feeling. Okay, it's got nothing to do with your logic, your conscious mind, and whether you're being clever or not. Okay, it's about whether you could almost say your soul is talking to you and making you feel warm. Okay, and that's the only way that it can communicate with you. So we're looking at the house. When you're now slowing down, you say, well, I decided to do it this way. And maybe you can evaluate now that way that you decided to do it. Okay. And so you think, well, what are the other ways of being able to express your purpose and idea out there? Okay. So you might have to just replan a little bit the activities and the how. From yesterday, we looked at a platform that you could be using, and we looked at some models of different things. You remember, like subscription to something or offering a subscription, and that whole list of things that we spoke about in class 3. So maybe the social media app, and I'm, from my experience from these classes now, As those who have been following me, I've been sort of recommending Instagram, but I'm now saying that probably people are having quite a lot of difficulty in really getting to grips with Instagram, and maybe the easier social media platform to move forward and get a following might well turn out to be Facebook. Okay. And although Instagram is really modern and it's growing, and it does have issues like having to post a picture or doing a video, and a 15-second video or a 60-minute video or so on. So that does frighten people who don't know Instagram. So it doesn't matter what social media you move out to. So that's the how I'm talking about. And I've said in the classes, and I say it again today, the how is not important. You can change the how. So if you feel that you're not making momentum, not getting out there, then relook at the how. Look at the social media you're using, okay? Or maybe you're not using social media at all, and maybe you're looking at your local physical community and you're going to meetings and anything where there's a gathering of people, conventions and training and things like that in order to be physically in your environment. And maybe that's not working for you. Then maybe you can look at then going social media or a combination of the two. So the how you can change. You can always change the means of moving out there and taking your purpose to the world. Or, the world can be one person who can be your next door neighbor for that matter, okay? But one looks at it as a purpose that can benefit people from all over. So let me just stop there and just check if everybody's with me. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Do you have any questions, any comments, any thoughts?
Yeah, how am I able to speak? Yeah, if how whatever I'm doing previously, whether social media or person to person, if it's not working, then I have to try other non-media aspect also, and which non-media aspect would you suggest? I know person to person is hard. Writing letters and emails, that is hard. But
yeah, as we spoke, Amir, we spoke about also Fizzy. That's why we spoke about Nextdoor, because from Nextdoor you would know what's going on in your local physical community. That you could then go and attend things, or even people have small house gatherings and things like that. You would find those in not only Nextdoor. There are a lot of other apps that also do it. But we said that when we did speak about Nextdoor, and I'd had a little bit of experience with that Nextdoor. So so physically could also work, particularly now as we hopefully are coming out of this whole lockdown issues that have kept us indoors for such a long time, and so on, that we get away to just move out a little bit and take our purpose with us, okay? And the reason why we want that purpose, and start communicating it out there. So, or you can do it both ways. So definitely it's an option. All right, any other comments or questions? Okay, let's move on then. So remember that if you're feeling down, it could be the how. You need to find another how. That would, you might just have to go back a couple of classes, go back to your notes and see you know, what was it? And remember, you can get a recording of this. There aren't any, you know, we're not, there will be a takeaway, but it's just very brief, just half a dozen lines. But you could get the recording and then go through the slides again at your own time, and also listen to what we all said collectively in the class as well. So, all right. So you've be aware now that you've maybe slowed down and you've lost a bit of momentum. Try creating a schedule, and you know, the whole purpose. I'm not a great goals person. That's not what this is about. But you need to. You've got a purpose, and you want to take it out. Your purpose, in a sense, has a built-in goal. It has a built-in purpose. Okay, and so you know, make it conscious. Write it down. You know, what, as you want to move forward, why are you moving forward? Remember that word, why. Why are you moving forward with it now? Because you've got to live it. Okay, and you've got to live it. You can't just have a purpose and dream about it. Okay, you can dream too, but in addition to dreaming, you need to have more as well. So when you look at it, create simple, attainable, measurable goals, if you like. Okay, specific is your. Ask yourself, is your intention? Remember in class 1 we spoke about intention. That's the foundation stone. What is your intention? Even of wanting to have a purpose, okay, you should have an intention. Okay, why do you want to have a purpose? Why don't you just die quietly? And sorry, I didn't mean that in that sense. You know, intention gets you up and alive, and it gives you, you know, leads you to your purpose. Okay, and so you know, look at it broadly, very, very broadly all the time. Forget about the details, and keep it simple. So specific. Ask yourself: is my intention clear, and have I defined it properly? And then start prioritizing, you know, what you're going to do to you know, move forward. So you got to think, if you're going to be on social media, you know, you're going to say to yourself, well, I want to post once a week on social media, or I want to post every day on social media. You know, whatever it is, or I want to meet people on Zoom, and I want to, you know, I want to make sure my friends and things, that I can have a meeting once a week or twice a week, and talk about certain subjects with my friends from the past, or, you know, maybe my children, but children aren't as good as friends. Okay. And so friends really come in really handy to chat to as well about these things. So whatever you prioritize, make sure that you actually do it. Then measurable, you know, how do you know? What do you measure? Okay, it's actually must be kept simple. You know, as I said earlier, it's got nothing to do with if you are selling something or going to start a business or something, and that's your purpose. It's not about the money, okay? But it can be, and it must be measurable with your specifics. And that is how many times you're going to post, let's say on social media. Then you can measure that. If you've decided to do it once a day, then you can measure that. If you decided to do 10 minutes a day on social media, it's measurable, okay? And just if you are doing what you plan to do, you are being successful, okay? Because it's your definition of success. It's what you want to do. It's got nothing to do with theory or anybody else's theory, okay? And so you then... Okay, you're preparing. That's all right. Okay. So yeah, make sure that it's achievable. Everything you write must be achievable for you. Okay. And that you're covering those achievable things in a simple way, but they are part and parcel of your time. It's all right, Amir. I know you're preparing to give us an harmonica talk there, but I hope you're listening as well. Okay.
I am listening, but I don't know somehow this
Oh,
person.
dude,
Okay. No, that's fine. Okay.
distracting.
Yeah. All right. So, relevant is, you've got your grand purpose in front of you. As Amir said at the beginning, you've perhaps got it up at your desk and or wherever you work, and there it is. It's written down and the reason why. Very good idea to do that. Okay. Then you look up at it and you say, what I'm doing, is it relevant? Is it relevant? Okay. Because we go off at a tangent, and it's human nature to go off at a tangent. We're doing something that's relevant, and then we go off at a tangent, and we forget about what we actually started, and now we're off on this other journey on that particular day. So, if you've got something in front of you, like your purpose written down, then you can ask yourself the question, is it relevant? Okay. Yeah, time bound. Time really, it's such an interesting science to look at and to understand. But again, let's keep the class simple. Okay, time can be terribly dragging and long, and the day never comes to an end. Or, oh my goodness, where did the day go? Okay, now, you need to go and ask yourself why. Okay. But whatever your answer is and however you approach it, give yourself plenty of daily time to do what you've set out to do. Okay, if you're going to work on social media and do postings and interact and answer people and give them advice and so forth, give yourself 2 hours a day to do just that. Okay, and then stick to it and do it. And be careful not to sort of do it at any time of the day, because the day might just slip by so quickly that you don't do it. Okay. And if you're going to not be able to do it, then give yourself permission not to do it. Now, I'm not going to do it tomorrow because I'm going out. Okay, that's fine. But otherwise, give yourself plenty of time, and then keep evaluating. Are you on time? Are you working according to what you have scheduled yourself to do? And so evaluating to see if you're on track with the simple process, a simple task. Okay, it must not be complicated. Okay, it must be easy. You've got the rest of your life. Okay, so it mustn't be something that you hurry. Okay, take it one step at a time and measure that stuff and review how you're progressing. Okay, and if the review includes maybe once every few months the how and the way you're doing it, then do that. Okay, and move forward with that. So, are there any questions about creating a schedule in order to help you keep the momentum going? Maybe I'll just stop there and see.
It makes sense, so you don't lose track.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like the idea of piggy banking. Somebody is doing the heavy lifting, and I just add my 10 cents somewhere.
Okay, that makes sense with what you're doing. Yeah.
Yes, I just add a little on whoever doing the basic heavy lifting, because I am busy looking after my health, my interests. For example, like watercoloring, I might as well brag and show to everybody.
Oh, great. That is marvelous. Thank
It's
you.
really good. I love it.
Yeah, so this is my hobby to keep me interested.
Right.
And so I'm taking Zoom classes with somebody from Montreal. So this is like a hobby.
Right.
And then looking after my health issues, keeping up with walking. So I have enough to do as far as looking after myself. But just to let you know that because I'm kind of, my daughter is far and, I have to, so I'm on my own more or less, so.
Right,
looking
right.
after- yeah.
And try to look after your thyroid. Huh?
I have to look after my thyroid and, every
Yeah.
now and then something new crops up and all that, but that is minimalistic. I have to not focus on too much to think about my health. And I'm sure lots of other people in that age, our age, they are really busy either with their kids' health, spouse health, their own health. So this is a major part in how can we design our life that little time, even less than 2 hours, can help to piggy bank somewhere somehow and achieve our goal, besides your ideas, what you are mentioning about journey.
Thanks for sharing that, Amir. That's great. I think, but we can, do you agree that we can put aside 2 hours a day? Eh?
Yes, we can definitely put away a few hours. There are examples of people who have done wonders and miracles, when somebody, Mother Teresa, look, how she was, old and, and took care of millions.
Right.
And no money and nothing. Everybody was finding that she was an honest helper, and there were people pouring donations and help to let her cause go forward. The most people are scared is that we either donate or help somebody, and that somebody else pockets the money somehow for their own purpose, so there are people like that.
Yeah, but Mother Teresa, she had a great purpose, didn't she?
Yes, what an example.
She had a reason, a really big why as well. So she's a great example. So thanks for mentioning her. Okay, shall we move on? And let me share my screen again. And so creating a schedule, as Terry says, it's really an important place to start and to move forward. But remember, it's unique to you, and don't be over optimistic when you're creating the schedule. Rather be pessimistic, okay? Because as Amir says, there's so many other things in our life. And we need to give time for those things. So we're slotting in something that is really going to eventually make us happier and more contented, as we get healthier as well. The purpose might just be finishing. I'm going to get healthy. I want to be able to, heal my whatever it is that's a problem and move forward. So how to motivate yourself to keep working. Okay. And the bottom line is so simple. Okay. You look at the why that you started off with. That's why you've got to have that to start off with. Okay. You've got to know why. And it's a heartfelt why. And then as you move forward, celebrate each tiny little success. Okay. So whatever that success is, maybe you've got a new follower on Instagram who's really interested and started talking to you. That's a success, okay? Put the kettle on, have a cup of coffee and a donut and celebrate, okay? Whatever always suits you.
Yeah.
You've got to celebrate because you're letting you know, you're just letting all the energy around you and your soul and your subconscious and anybody else saying, thank you, I'm grateful. And here's my gratitude by celebrating. And it really is a great way. If I had my wife next to me, she would tell you about all the things. We have every excuse to celebrate, every little action, you know, it's great. And so then, as I've said to you, and Amir mentioned it right at the beginning, create a working environment where you sit every day to do, let's say, if it might only be those 2 hours, that's fine. But whatever, it might be just a room, it might be a space, it might just be a wall. And, you know, create that with the things that you love, that you enjoy, that are you. You know, not just some picture that you bought from the shop and you don't even know what it is, or somebody gave it to you and you put it up. You know, no, they must be personal things that are relative to you. You know, if you have a preference to certain colors and you like them, have them there. If you enjoy scented candles, you know, have them there. Whatever it is, you like background music. Amir's great one. He gave us some lovely examples of music to relax with and so on. So, you know, put that on, have it around, do that, create that environment that keeps you aware of who you are, okay? Not somebody else who thinks that's beautiful or something like that. Okay. Find videos that appeal to you, not just any video, not some person who is sprouting motivation and uplifting. You know, maybe your motivational videos are spiritual, or, you know, or in line with your particular religion. Whatever it is, find the things that are uplifting, that you really enjoy listening. And it might not be a video, it might be an audio, might be a podcast, and with no pictures, and you've got it in the background. And, you know, you might be washing the dishes and you've got listening to this person who's now talking, and you don't have to watch, you just listen. So find those sort of things that work for you. And I know we're talking about time, and we've got 2 hours aside, let's say, for social media. And but now also, you know, attend some sort of class. And I know Amir has been already attending other Get Set Up classes. I'm not sure about you, Terry, if you've been attending other classes. But a class, maybe it's a yoga class, mine's a Tai Chi class, you know, maybe it's a book club class, but attend a regular class, a commitment of an interest of yours, okay? It must be an interest of yours, and attend that class. That also gets the energy up, and you also be talking to people maybe on Zoom or Skype, and when you move forward with that. Okay, don't worry, Amir, that's fine. All right, so, you know, and keep reviewing, and see how you move forward with that. And so, yeah, practical tips, you know, cultivate your routine with energies that nourish you, okay? Self-care, look after yourself, have a class that you like, you know, do things that you enjoy on a regular basis that you can do at home and quite happy. You don't necessarily have to go out and spend money, okay? And so everything must be a doable action, and that's where the bottom line lies, in just creating an environment that you flourish in. Okay, so we've got some success stories I was telling you about. Now, it's so interesting. I mean, this lady on the left over here is currently 92 years old, okay? And many years ago, she was just a normal you and me, living in Waco, Kentucky. And she had a small little farm, and she had her grandchildren around, and but she always was eccentric. Okay, she wore tie-dyed t-shirts and short pants, and often she would paint the t-shirts and so on. But she was lived by herself out there with her grandchildren coming and going, and she used to go to church every Sunday. And then her great granddaughter took a picture of her and said to her, "Can I please post this on social media?" And she really didn't know what social media was all about. So they went and posted that picture. And the grandchild did, okay, with exactly as she looks here now on the left. And so, and the great-granddaughter said, what, we must put something, we must call you something, or make a statement or something like that as a starter. So she had no idea. She says, just type in there, "I'm a bad bitch, always been a rebel." Okay, and that her dressing. So she was being herself. Whether you agree with the language or anything else, irrelevant. Okay, she's being herself. She now calls herself on social media Baddie Winkle. Okay. That's her title, that's her username, and everybody knows her as Baddie Winkle. I mean, if you go and Google it, you'll find Baddie Winkle. Okay, and really, it's an attitude that certain people love. They just love it, and they attach themselves to her. And she now has a new tagline that you can see on your screen as well: "Stealing your man since 1928." So she now has her own fashion house based on what she does. She has over 3 million followers on social media, and largely on Instagram. And so it's absolutely, she's a success. And she never set out to it. It was all by mistake, this photo, which was like a joke, you know. That's why she made that statement about it. And so she's there. You can go and Google her, go and read about it, interviews. The next person on the right, the guy here, George, you either perhaps know him from history because he was on Star Trek. Okay, you remember who he was? You're right, Zulu. Okay, Sulu. Okay, and so he then retired, and he had certain passions about certain social things that needed to be fixed. And so he went about giving talks and physical talks and writing blogs and getting a following on many social media platforms. And, you know, he really promoted things like gay rights, for example, and other rights of minorities that it just, he felt strongly about. And before he knew it, you know, he was, you know, having an enormous following. He's been invited to talk here, there, and everywhere because that was what he did. So he loved his science fiction jokes, obviously, that's his background. So on social media, there were a lot of jokes, okay? And because that fitted with him and his person and his uniqueness, okay? So yeah, there's a lot you can see about him. So Takai has really used social media as a tool for his purpose of getting out there and sharing things with people. And he says businesses, I mean, social media has never been a business for him, okay? It's just about talking about the things that he's passionate about. Okay, then we've got at the bottom of the page, Iris. Iris is 99 years old. And she also was somebody who grew up in Queens, in New York. And her grandmother, she used to go and visit her grandmother regularly, and the grandmother was a sewer, and even the grandmother's daughters were sewers. And they always had fabric lying around, and packets. And Iris couldn't wait to get her hands on the packets when she got there, and she'd open them and work with them and play with them and make shapes out of them, and from all the scraps that were there, all science. So she was, like, even at a young age, obsessed with texture and color and so forth. But it had to be until, you know, she retired that things started taking a different style. And so she then started out, she believed that not dissimilar to a professor that we had at the beginning of this, okay, she wanted people to dress, particularly old people, in a smart way, but in quite what they call an electric style, okay, and you can see the picture there, and you can also see pictures there of all of them dressed differently, okay, but she just started posting, and slowly it just grew and grew and grew. And she kept on saying to people, don't be obsessed with your age, man. Don't be obsessed with your age. And so, yeah, she had lots of things to talk about. And some of them, a lot of them we've mentioned during the class without mentioning her name. So those are people you can look up and go and read if it interests you, but it does bring us to a point. But before we go, I want Amir to, if any of you have got to go and join another class, please feel free, but I like Amir to give us his harmonica. Amir, are you there? Are you able to do it?
Sorry, thank you. I was off. Yeah, I hope you can put up with me with my song.
Long as we can sing along.
Allow
Okay.
me do. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, put
Yes.
your video on then. I'm not sure why your video is not on. Oh, yeah, there we
sorry.
are. that's
Somehow I was trying to. Anyway, I'm going to play the same song, "Love Me Do" by Beatles.
okay.
So that's the one that goes well with my harmonica. All right, so I'll play this.
Love me do. Well done.
Thank you.
All right.
Hip hooray. Thanks.
Thank you so much to allow me, Michael.
It's great. It's a pleasure, and it's a great place to stop the class. Thank you
Yes.
very much indeed.
Thank you for.
See you all tomorrow. Same
Yes.
time.
Okay.
We'll
Yes.
try tomorrow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, same time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care, everybody.